Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, we are going to look at profit and loss. Look, this video is going to be your most important video. After today, you won't have any doubts about profit and loss. Whether you are preparing for an academic exam or any competitive exam. Let me give you an introduction so you'll understand why this video is important for you. First, we'll look at the theory part, like all the theoretical aspects of profit and loss, such as what CP is, what SP is, and what profit is. After that, we'll understand profit, loss, and everything else, like market price, list price, and so on. First, we'll understand what all these things are, okay? After that, we'll look at questions related to these topics. Now, we'll look at questions in two types. One is the basic method. In the basic method, for example, we assume certain things. Let's say we let X equal the cost price, okay? We let profit be something as well. In that way, one is the descriptive approach. This is your basic math, which is used in descriptive exams or school exams. That's where it's used, okay? And the other is the MCQ approach. What is the MCQ approach? For example, if you are preparing for a government exam, suppose you are, okay, or for ST, college exams like SAT, CT, or any Olympiad, etc., where questions come in MCQ format, then what do you have to do there? You have to be fast, okay? You need to save time. You just have to get the answer. It doesn't matter which approach you use. You should be able to directly arrive at the answer. Okay, but the basic method is also important because if you know the basic method, you'll be able to better understand the MCQ approach, the tricks-based approach. So I hope you've understood why this video is going to be important for you. So now let's get started. So look, first of all, let's see what cost price is. What is cost price? The amount paid to purchase a product or commodity is called the cost price. Okay, and also note SCP is noted in the form of CP. This cost price is further classified into different categories. Take a look at the definition once. Now I'll explain it to you separately with an example, okay? So let's understand here, like there's a shopkeeper. Let's assume this is a shop. In this shop, what does the shopkeeper do? Let's say it's some government work, okay? So what does he do? He brings in shirts and sells shirts. So what does he do? From the manufacturer? Brother, what will he bring from the manufacturer? He'll bring shirts to his shop. All right. Then what will he do with these same shirts? He will sell them to the customer. And this is what the shopkeeper does, right? So the shopkeeper brought in one shirt. All right. Let's talk about one shirt. How much did he buy this shirt from the manufacturer for? For 1,000 rupees. All right. And what does he do? He sells it to the customer like us for 1,200 rupees. And that's exactly what a shopkeeper does. He buys something at a lower price and sells it at a higher price. So here, what about the manufacturer, the one who brought it in? The price he paid for it is called the cost price. The price at which he purchased it is the cost price, and the price at which he sold it is called the selling price. I hope that's clear. Now you must have understood well what cost price and selling price are. The price at which someone buys and brings something in is the purchase price. That is the cost price, and the price at which it is being sold is called the selling price. I hope you understand now. All right, now let's move on to its parts. So what is the first one called? Cost price is divided into two categories. One is fixed cost, all right, and the other is called variable cost. So what is fixed cost? Fixed cost is constant. Just note, as the name suggests, it remains fixed. All right, let me explain. Like the rent of a shop, for example, that is the fixed cost for the shopkeeper. The rent will remain fixed. Let's say it's 50,000 rupees. All right, every month he will pay 15,000 rupees. It's not like he'll pay 15 this month, 16 next month, or even 18 after that. That won't happen. It will always stay at 15. All right, so this was our fixed cost. And now what do we have here? Variable cost. What is it? It can vary depending on the number of units and other factors. For example, the shopkeeper's bill, or anyone's bill for that matter, could be a variable cost. Take the cell phone bill for instance. This would be our variable cost. Why? Because it depends on how much we use, like data usage, for example. It can depend on that too. All right, or if we are making international calls, okay, so it will also depend on that. So all of these are variable costs. There is no fixed cost in this. All right, I hope you now understand fixed costs and variable costs. What costs remain fixed and what costs can vary. They depend on any factor. Alright, now let's move on to the next topic. Selling price. I already explained the definition. The amount for which the product is sold, the price at which it is sold, like here, 1200. So this becomes your SP, selling price. Alright, also sometimes it's called the sale price. You can call it the selling price or just the sale price. Okay, I hope CP, cost price, and SP, selling price, are clear to you now. Now, let's move on to the next topic. Look, now let's see what profit is. There can be two cases. Let's consider the first case when our SP is higher than the CP. How? Let's take the previous example from last time. In that, what was the shopkeeper's situation? 1 second. In the previous case, what was happening was that the shopkeeper, what was our shopkeeper doing? How much was he buying it for? He was buying it for 1,000 rupees. Alright, and for how much was he selling it? For 1200. So what happened here? This is our SP, and what is this? This is CP. When the SP is higher and the CP is lower, what happens? We make a profit. Alright, you understood, right? The amount gained by selling the product for more than it cost. Try to understand this. Let's consider a simple example to illustrate this. Imagine he sold an item for 1200 rupees, having previously bought it for just 1,000 rupees. This means he sold it for exactly 200 rupees more than he paid, right? Consequently, these 200 rupees are what we define as our profit. I really hope that you have understood this concept clearly by now. What is profit? Alright, profit is easy to understand, okay? Now let's understand this case. Just remember, in this case, the selling price should be higher and the cost price should be lower. Alright, the selling price should be higher and the cost price should be lower. For profit, okay? Now let's look at the case of loss. This can also happen, right? Suppose the cost price is higher, and what about the selling price? How will this happen this time? Let's understand with an example, then you'll remember it for a long time. Look, suppose this is the shopkeeper. This is our shopkeeper, alright? It's the same as if someone bought a shirt from the manufacturer for 1,000 rupees, okay? Then what happens is that this shirt is not liked by any customer, so it's just not selling. Alright, so what will the shopkeeper do? He'll think, let me sell it for a lower price. But he wants to get rid of it, meaning he wants to sell it at any price. So what does he do? He won't keep it at 100 rupees. He'll sell it at whatever price he can get just to get rid of it.
So he sells it at 800 rupees.
So here what happened? This SP, what did it become? CP. Now what do we have to do? We have to calculate the loss. To calculate the loss, what will we do? CP minus SP. So here, how much is it? 1000 minus 800. So here it comes out to a loss of 200. Did you understand? Alright. And in this case, when there was a profit, when what was higher? SP. So it was SP minus CP. So we had taken it at 1200, sold it and bought it for 1,000 rupees. So here there was a profit of 200. Alright, I hope you have understood how to calculate profit and loss. If you want to calculate profit, what do you need to do? Remember this well for any SP. Alright, remember this. Next, let me write what is profit, SP minus CP, and what is loss, CP minus SP. You can also remember this with an example, like if you sold something for less and bought it for more, then there will be a loss. Alright, you just need to find the difference, because if it comes out negative, you'll still understand. Suppose you do this.
Let's say you subtract 1000 from 800.
Alright, you didn't check which is CP or SP, and it came out negative. So how did it become 200 negative? What is it indicating here? Well, no amount can actually be negative. So here the negative sign indicates a loss. So there's no need to worry too much about it. Remember, SP minus CP, if you ever don't understand, just do SP minus CP and the sign will tell you whether it's a loss or a profit. Alright, now let's understand this. What is the formula for profit and loss? Let's see. The profit or gain is equal to selling price minus cost price. That's exactly what I explained. What is our profit? It's SP minus CP. Alright, it's simple. What is loss? Cost price? CP minus SP. You must have understood this now. Alright, now let's see. Profit, and if you don't look at it, this is what it will be. We've written it down, you've understood it, it's the same thing. Alright, now let's understand. This is something important to grasp. The formula for the profit and loss percentage, how do we calculate profit percentage and loss percentage? All right. So whatever profit or loss we have, how is it calculated? It's calculated based on our cost price, CP. Always remember this. All right. What will always be in the denominator? It will always be the cost price, CP. So when we calculate profit, what happens? Our profit, the profit can be in rupees, dollars, or any other currency. The denominator will be CP, and to get the percentage, multiply by 100. Alright, so this is your method for calculating profit percentage, and you can also write it in this form. How do we calculate profit? Here you can go ahead and write down the selling price minus the cost price. Alright, and then over here, you multiply the cost price by 100. Okay, let's look at an example. Let's calculate the profit from the previous case. Here, let's take the example we gave earlier and calculate what the profit would be. Brother, what is this?
So here 1200 is SP and 1000 is CP, that is cost price. So SP minus CP divided by CP into 100. So let's write.
So what will happen here? 1200 minus 1000, and by 1000 CP into 100 as well. Got 200 by 1000 into 100. Here 2 zeros cancel with 2 zeros, 1 with 1 zero. So what do we get? 20%. So we made a profit of 20%. All right, this is understood. Now, how did we calculate the profit properly? How did we calculate the profit percentage? Now, what will be the loss percentage? What will be the percentage of loss? In rupees upon CP into 100. All right, and you can write it in this form. CP minus SP upon CP into 100. All right, let's look at an example of this as well. We understood earlier, we understood it before. Look, this was the case. What will happen in this case? What is being done in the show? This is your SP. This is CP. So CP minus SP, what will that be? 1000 minus 800. And on what do we have to calculate it? On CP. So what will always come in the denominator here? CP. So here 1000 into 100. So what will this come out to be? 200 by 1000 into 100. So from here, the best calculation. Here also, what percent loss is occurring? There is a 20% loss. All right, there it was a 20% profit. Here, it is a 20% loss. So I hope you have understood how to calculate profit, loss, and related concepts. Percentage, all right. Now let's move ahead. If you still have any doubts about anything, you can comment in the comment box. I will definitely reply to you. All right, now let's understand what this market price is. This is basically the label. Shopkeepers often offer various types of special discounts to their customers in a very specific way, as you can clearly see right here. Let me explain. Watch carefully. There is a shopkeeper. This shopkeeper is a bit smart. So what about this shopkeeper? The shopkeeper is a little smart. He knows his stuff. What he does is, well, it's the same thing. He brings shirts from the manufacturer. All right, he brings the shirts from the manufacturer for 1000 rupees, all on the same date. Okay. Now what does he do? He does this, he marks it up. 1500, that's the market price. So what is the market price? Brother, the shirts you buy have a label on them. All right, what does he write on the price tag? He writes 1500 rupees. All right, 1500 rupees. Okay. And then what happens is that customers like you, who are a bit naive, come in. He says, sir, there's a discount going on of 300 rupees. So I'll sell it to you for 300 rupees less. That is for 1200 rupees. But it's basically the same thing, brother, that just became his selling price. That became your cost price. So it's essentially the same thing. But in this case, what did he do? What he did was he made it the market price. This is also called the marked price or sometimes the label price. All right then. Now, regarding this 300 rupees, what exactly happened to it? Did you fully understand how our discount system works? You see, this 300 rupees effectively became our total discount for you. I truly hope that you understood that explanation well. The price at which the shopkeeper puts a label saying, I will sell at this price, that is called the marked price. And the previous shopkeeper wasn't smart. What he was doing was that the marked price and the selling price were the same. So he was selling at that same price. But this one, just to show, said, I gave a discount. So what happened here? I hope you have understood the concept of marked price well. So now, how do we calculate the discount? The difference between the marked price and the selling price is the discount. This is your marked price and this is your selling price. The difference between these two will be your discount. I hope this is clear now. Now, what will be your discount percentage? Now, always remember, this is very important. Students often make the mistake of calculating the discount on the selling price, but profit and loss are calculated on the cost price. However, any discount you calculate should always be on the marked price. So if you ever have to calculate the discount or the discount percentage, always do it on the marked price. So you can also write it in this form. You don't calculate it on the selling price, but on the market price. Wait. Since the marked price is higher, only then will you be able to give a discount. So what will this be? Marked price, MP, minus selling price, SP, and in the denominator, remember this, the marked price will come at the bottom. This time, in the case of discount, in the denominator you have 100, so here, what will you get? The discount percentage. And if you already know it directly, then you can just write 300 there. Brother, how much discount was given? 300. 300, and brother, what is the marked price in this case? Out of 1500 in the denominator, what do you get? 20%. How much discount did he give? He gave a discount of 20%. Alright. And here, the profit will remain the same. Look, if you talk about profit here, even in this case, the profit will remain the same because at what price did he sell it? Actually, if he sold it for 100, then 200 is your profit. Out of 1,000, if the cost price is 100, then the profit will be 20%. So what happened in this case is that he showed a bit of smartness by saying, brother, I am giving a discount. Alright, I hope you understood what I explained a bit better in today's video. Let's do a quick revision of what we learned today. So in today's video, we saw what cost price is, what fixed cost is, and what variable cost is, right? Then after that, we looked at what selling price is, the price at which the shopkeeper sells any item, right? That's what we call the selling price. After that, we saw how much profit is made. If he buys at a lower price and sells at a higher price, that's profit. Buying for less and selling for more. If it's the other way around, then it's a loss. That would be your loss. Next, we saw what market price is called. It's also called market price, and sometimes it's called label price as well. You must have seen this formula. Alright, at the end, we looked at MRP and discount. Discount is quite important. Any questions related to this, we will cover in the next video. Thank you so much. If you liked the video, please like and share it.